Morning, boys. And I suppose what you're saying that you want me to read you a story again. Oh, right. Well, I'm not going to read you a story today. I'm going to tell you a story, and it's a doggy story. Oh, yes, I'm sure that you will like that. Yes. Oh, yes. So, um, this is you want me to read you a story, and I'm going to tell you a story. I'm going to tell you a doggy story, and this one is about Uncle Bob. You know Uncle Bob. He's got two dogs. Yeah, two dogs. They're not like you. There's a little dog called Pip, little white dog called Pip, and there's a bigger dog, a black dog called Harvey. Yeah, it's Harvey, and he takes them with him when he goes into the forest because he goes into the forest quite a lot, you know. Yes. And he goes into the forest because him and his friends have made a bike track in the forest. A bike track, yes. And it's a BMX track. I don't know what that BMX stands for. It's something to do with bikes anyway. So the bikes they go round, whizzing round this track, and they've got these little hills, little steep hills that they've made, and the steep hills they jump, yeah, they jump over these hills and they do all sorts of tricks. It's a wonder they don't get hurt, badly hurt, you know, the tricks they do on those bikes. Anyway, he takes the dogs with him, and they like to have the ball thrown for them, you know, like you do. Oh yes, we like the ball thrown. Yes, oh yes. And so Bob and his friends, they throw the ball for Pip and Harvey. Well, Pip is usually the one who gets the ball because he watches the ball go up in the air. And then he runs after it, and Harvey chases after him. So it's usually Pip who gets the ball because he's a clever little dog. Yes, you're a clever little dog. Yes, and so they go whizzing after the ball, and all his friends throw the ball for the dogs. Anyway, once they get tired, the dogs don't get tired because they've got so much energy. Yeah, just like you do, yes. And they can go on all day, but the boys, well, they can't go on all day, so they have to stop throwing the ball. And so then Bob takes the dogs for a walk in the forest. Yes, and they go for a long walk, miles sometimes. No, no, you don't like to go for miles. No, I know. Uh, so anyway, off Bob goes with his little dogs for a walk along the forest path. When all of a sudden, a rabbit, a rabbit, yeah, rabbit, a rabbit runs across the path, and of course Pip sees the rabbit. He chases after the rabbit, yeah, and he disappears into the woods. Anyway, Bob doesn't really mind because he knows that Pip will always catch him up. Yes, he they often go. Harvey and Pip go off on their own, sniffing along the paths where other animals have been, with deer and foxes, probably badgers and things like that in the woods. So anyway, he's not worried. He goes off walking along the road, walking along the path. Yes, and anyway, he's gone walking for about 10 minutes, and Pip still hasn't caught up with him. Yeah, so he's a bit worried. Of course, yes, he's a bit worried. that Pip hasn't caught him up, because he's usually caught him up. So he thinks, I'd better go back and see what's happened. So he goes back along the path and finds where the rabbit and Pip ran off the path, because the grass has been trampled down, so he can follow where they went. And he follows the track where the little dog and the rabbit ran, and he came upon a hole in a bank, a hole. So he put his head down to the hole, and he could hear very faint barking coming from the hole. Well, of course he knew then that Pip was in trouble, because he would have come back if he could, and he never barks unless he's really in trouble. So he thought, oh dear, Pip's got trapped in the hole. Oh dear. And so what can he do? Anyway, he walks along in the direction that the hole's going, but he can't find any sign of a way in or how to get Pip out. What will he do? What will he do? So anyway, he has a great idea. He runs back to the bike truck and he shouts to his mate, quick, get shovels and come with me, because Pip has got stuck in a rabbit hole. Well, all of his friends, they know how Bob loves Pip, so they all get their shovels and they run with Bob back to where the Pip went into the rabbit hole. So they can't possibly dig all the way along the hole to find Bob, can they, Pip? So what do? Well, they walk along the direction of where the hole goes, yes, and they find a mound of earth that's got lots of holes in it. So this must be the rabbit warren where all the rabbits live, yes. And they think, well, the Pip has got stuck somewhere between where he went into the hole and this rabbit warren, because the rabbit would have been trying to get to his home. So anyway, one of those boys had a bike pump with him in his rucksack. He takes out the bike pump and he takes the tube out of the middle of the bike pump. What is he going to do with that? Oh, he's a very clever boy, he is. And he walks along the route of the track that they think the rabbit burrow has gone. And every now and then he digs his tube into the earth, listening for Pip's barking. Clever, eh? Yes, very clever. So eventually, when he gets to the point where the barking is loudest, he says, right, lads, this is where we will dig. And they dig and they dig. And it takes quite a while, because they have to be very careful, because they don't want to hurt little Pip with their shovels. No. So anyway, eventually they get to the point where they can see little Pip, and he's trapped by a tree root. He's trapped, but one of them reaches in and gets hold of Pip and pulls him out. Yeah, and all the boys cheer. Yeah, cheer. They all cheer because Pip's been saved. And well, of course, he is all right. He's not injured. Good. Yeah, that's good. And that's the end of the story, really. And do you think that Pip has learnt his lesson about chasing rabbits? No. He'll still chase rabbits if he sees one, won't he? Right. So, bye-bye now. Bye-bye.